Full disclosure, we have yet to watch Mortal Kombat Snowblind. We have watched the other two animations prior to Snowblind. If you guys really, really want us to, we'll get to that as well. In addition to this cage match. You guys, thanks so much for joining. I am Jabby Kaway, joined by Charker.
What's up?
We're looking at the trailer to Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match, official Red Band trailer. Anyway, hit the subscribe button, please, bell icon, all notifications, pretty please. Vote this up, let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Thanks for hanging with us. Here we go.
His name is Johnny Cage. His job
Keep up the autographing.
is acting.
Oh my god, he even delegates that.
Yeah, actually, I'm really more into dramas.
You should leave the jokes to me, son.
But his passion is action.
I just want to know how you got so cool.
The truth is, I was
The
bullied a lot
animation
in
style
school.
is so interesting.
little baby.
My mom took me to the local dojo, and my life changed forever.
It's like karate.
Yeah, Cobra Kai.
Write this down. Kick first, be awesome, make money.
So cool.
From Warner Brothers Animation
I love the 80s
Everyone
vibe.
decent? Wow.
Sexy.
Obviously, this is turning us both on. Can you feel that?
Oh, stop.
a world where an evil cult threatens humanity.
Look what I have.
What is it?
Give me that fucking scroll!
Fist will fly.
Oh my god.
Hands are gonna roll.
Did you see that?
Yes.
She just jumped out and I spin kicked her head off. Enough! Oh shit!
We need you for the Brotherhood.
This club sounds great. Where do I sign? Fuck you!
Joel McHale,
WWJCP. What would Johnny Cage do?
Jennifer Grey,
You still don't get it, do you?
I'm starting to.
and Gilbert Gottfried.
Get superhero!
Gilbert Gottfried.
Come up, Johnny!
Oh my gosh.
Sorry about that.
I don't mind.
Oh.
Either do I.
Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match.
Oh, is he dead?
I'm sure he's fine. See? He's fine.
That's a different approach to a Mortal Kombat story than I was expecting. Wildly different with the 80s vibe kicking
love
in
it.
hard.
Yeah.
Overdrive.
It looks so much fun. I mean, it totally takes it back to when did Mortal Kombat come out?
Mortal Kombat was not in the 80s. I mean, fighting games definitely have been around for a long time. I don't know when they first came about, but it takes it back to almost like the Van Damme days.
Yeah, like the action hero
'cause
days.
Van Damme and Seagal and all of them, they definitely, really came into the spotlight in the 80s.
Yeah.
Post Bruce Lee, Johnny Cage largely was inspired by Van Damme. To take it back to that era actually makes a lot of sense, and I'm a little bit surprised they haven't gone there sooner, but I suppose we're in that era looking back with fondness, that sort
Nostalgia.
of nostalgic thing. It's a nice confluence of ideas, and we're exploring Mortal Kombat in a way that has yet to be done. Still that kind of tongue-in-cheek thing with Mortal Kombat that's been there sort of since the beginning, not taking itself too seriously. A little bit really over the top.
Cheesy.
You know what I'm saying?
Like good cheese.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I love that they, really went for it with the animation style as well, because they went full on, let's go for an 80s look, 80s vibe.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of like Miami
collar.
Vice,
Yeah.
pop collar jacket situation,
This-
and the music as well.
This really makes a lot of sense that they would go with Johnny Cage because he is the standout character from everybody in the animation.
Yeah.
Like if you watch them all, as far as I can tell, he's the most fun one to be around.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like with the comedy, the acting, everything, he's just an interesting character. I hope this is not like, a Friends spinoff, Joey season 1 kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because, Joey's... Well, the thing is, Joey didn't do well, right?
I know that, yeah.
And so we're not getting the whole cast here. We have a couple of people, namely Raiden.
Yeah, that we see.
That we see. There might be others that show up, but I'm imagining it's not going to really be much of the other characters that we're familiar with in this particular installment. And so I'm hoping that end to end, it's really fun and enjoyable to the point that you're not really concerned about the fact that you're not getting the other characters and you're not getting the primary story that you're used to.
I get you.
You know?
I get you. Yeah, no, and I hope that it's not one of those situations where we've enjoyed Johnny Cage because he's just been used sparingly as the comic relief.
You're talking about the Jack Sparrow effect.
Yeah, the Jack Sparrow effect, the Flash effect, whatever, where it's like a fun character who we enjoy when he just kind of pops up and provides comedy. But then when they have their own movie and it's like back-to-back jokes or whatever, it doesn't really work.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that it's going to be fun. It looks fun. That's the thing. Like, it just looks like it's just really leaning into the Johnny Cage cheese.
So to that 80s vibe, right at the tail end of the 80s was a show called Family Matters, which I'm sure a lot of you guys watching are familiar with. And that's where we got Steve Urkel, or Stefan Urkel. But the guy here looks so much like Steve Urkel to me, the sidekick to Johnny Cage here. I don't know who he eventually becomes, if he's just this one-off character for this particular film, or if he's going to stick around. But it's like just continuing to kind of feed into the inspiration of the 80s. It's just neat that they have a guy who looks just like Urkel.
Yeah, yeah.
And Urkel famously really wanted to be cool, you know? He was all about it. And so you have that Taika Waititi kind of thing, you know? A character who just wants to be awesome. And with the car and everything, it does kind of feel like Johnny from Cobra Kai or Karate Kid.
That's why when he was doing the whole backstory thing where he was like, yeah, I was bullied and then my mom brought me to a dojo. You said Karate Kid, but I said Cobra Kai. I think it's just because personality-wise, Johnny Cage is a lot like Johnny.
He's way more in line with Johnny.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that just made sense to me. And yet another 80s kind of stalwart. Yeah.
Well, the what was that word you used? Stalwart?
Yeah.
I don't know that word as well. What can you?
It's just like a staple. I hope
Gotcha.
I used the word correctly. Now you put me on the spot, and probably the grammar police, the English language police in the comments are like, actually, Achara, that's not how you use it. I just learn words out of context.
It would just be your dad going into the comments.
That's right, silently judging my grammar.
The idea that he was bullied and taken to a dojo or whatever is very much, Daniel's son, his mom trying to help him out. But
sure.
One of the big things we would get in the 80s is a lot of these cool fantasy type movies like Willow and whatever, or Masters of the Universe. I know that was a terrible film. One of the characters that's made a comeback is George Lucas's character, Howard the Duck. We got a lot of these like weird, not horror, but kind of like horror and fantasy, mythology kind of things, all mixed together in the 80s. We got Conan the Barbarian. There's a certain vibe to 80s movies that are really quite fun with monsters and fantasy. And it feels like they're going to be borrowing from that to tell this story. And that has me also excited. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek in the same way as Kung Fury, which I know you haven't seen yet. But have you seen it? Or was that Andrew who hasn't seen it?
Kung Pao Chicken?
No, Kung Fury.
Oh.
Kung Fury is okay, if you don't know what Kung Fury is, you need to see it. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of like the same thing as Kung Fury in that way, where it's borrowing from all that stuff and it's ridiculous. I would love it if there's a scene where he kicks a car and it goes flying, just like Kung Fury.